can't wait for a couple weeks from now.
Anthony Slater, 8 o'clock to talk about the Warriors. Go to say Warriors, 888-957-9570. Want to hear from the roasters here, including Ahmad Z, who says, Bonte's a Warriors PR shill. He's PR for the Warriors. They'd be 4 better teams in the West right now than the Golden State Warriors. Denver, Lakers, Phoenix. And I don't even believe in the Phoenix Suns. You know, everybody made such a big deal about the Phoenix Suns signing Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon. A ball pounder. A guy who only looks for his.
He'll chuck
him up with the best of them.
Yep.
Watanabe. What is his name? Watanabe from the Brooklyn Nets who plays 15 minutes a game. I mean, Drew Eubanks. Oh, my God, we're going crazy over Drew Eubanks.
Torrey Craig
going to Chicago. Oh, my God, the Phoenix Suns. Stop.
So Draymond comes back, and you get notified, what was around like 15?
Yeah, right away. He was basically like the first shoot. No, it was like 3 o'clock.
Was
when
it 3 o'clock?
Agency started, because
okay.
free agency started 3 o'clock West Coast time.
I forget. I was down in Carmel, so I remember getting the notification. And like Sam Lubman, I had hit my tweet deck or whatever, my tweet limit, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." It felt like when I saw it, it was 3 years. I guess 3 years with a fourth. That's a player option.
Right.
Don't love that part of it, but 3 years for about what, $100 million?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, 6 or so less than what we expected him to get in what he was demanding, or at least that's what we heard he was demanding. We never really heard that from him. Right. So I was like, this is good. This is a good deal. They get to keep their guy that's a little less.
It's a win-win for both sides.
Exactly. Well, it feels like that.
And you save $43 million off the luxury tax,
which is
important.
Big. Absolutely big. And it keeps you under the second apron as of now. As of now, if you keep the max slot of Clay, whether that's him staying with that and everything, you're like at, I think it's 181 or 182 is the second apron. And this gets you like $1 million below it. Given what you have on contract deck right now. So that means you retain the right to be able to trade away draft picks moving forward.
Exactly.
If things stay the way they're at financially, because everything needs to be set for 2024.
Exactly.
So it's kind of the best of all worlds. You roll back the core, at least if you're someone that wanted to keep the core together. You save a little in the luxury tax. You stay under that second apron as of right now, and you still have the financial flexibility to re-sign Clay at a lower number, and you maintain the slot with Chris Paul.
No doubt.
You still have flexibility, you still have your core, and you keep your draft picks. And I don't know why anyone would be mad.
888-957-9570. Any displeasure in Draymond Green signing that 4-year, $100 million deal. Of course, last year the deal is a player option, so good for Draymond Green.
Do you like
that? But it's a win-win. I don't mind it because 4 years from now, who knows where the team's going to be?
Who knows where
the franchise is? Who knows where he is? Who knows where the organization will be? I got no problem with that.
Okay.
You keep the core, and I'm open to that. And look, it would have shocked me if Draymond Green would have walked on. Would I like to see something new here? But I just wasn't in the camp of just letting him walk just to walk.
Doesn't it feel like the fact that they signed almost immediately, they had it all worked out and it was a formality? And anything that we heard in terms of the smoke leading up to was him trying to, gain leverage?
Well, it was leverage. And also, when you think about the deal.
It was reasonable.
And you bring him back, it was very reasonable. And you just think about, okay, maybe there were some talks about Draymond Green improving his offensive game. Because Joe Lacob talked about it next to Mike Dunleavy Jr. when he introduced Mike Dunleavy Jr. Said, look, our priority is to re-sign Draymond Green. However, he needs to improve. We need to improve. Yeah. We all need to improve. Where does Draymond Green need to improve? Being more aggressive offensively. We'll play some sound from the podcast from Paul George, where he joined Paul George for like 2 hours. It was a good pod. I listened to most of it. But Draymond Green coming back. He understands what he did last season was not acceptable. Now you get Andrew Wiggins back, who hopefully plays at least 70 games. I think Draymond Green will be re-energized. The core, obviously, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson didn't want Draymond Green to walk away. Obviously, Steph Curry wanted Draymond Green back, which is a good thing. You got to make the franchise player happy. Steph Curry's happy now. You get Chris Paul, who I've warmed up to, who can unlock possibly Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Do I need more size? Absolutely. I would like to get Dario Saric. I like to get Bobo. Whatever. I need some 7-footers. I need some big dudes.
Matters.
It does matter. But you know what? It already feels like today, as opposed to, say, 2 months ago when the season ended in L.A., the locker room's in a better spot now. And I'm not blaming Jordan Poole for that. I do not want to blame Jordan Poole for being that. But you start to hear the tea leaves. Corey Joseph, who joined Jason Dumas. This is very interesting. Corey Joseph talked about the newest addition to the Golden State Warriors who signed a vet minimum deal. Played for Detroit the last couple of years, shot 38.5% from three the last 3 seasons, Corey Joseph. And he doesn't turn the ball over. 2 things Steve Kerr said incessantly after the season. 1, we need to take better care of the basketball. Mm-hmm. You've done that by adding in Chris Paul and Corey Joseph.
Okay.
2, Corey Joseph mentioned that when he did talk to Steve Kerr, he said that he wanted Corey there because he's a selfless player. He's a guy who's not about his. It almost felt like a shot at Jordan Poole saying that he did become selfish at certain points last season. And I don't want to blame Jordan Poole for doing that. But it felt like there was a lot of individual action happening out there, whether it was Klay chucking, whether it's Jordan Poole chucking, whether it's Kuminga pouting to the media.
Yeah, I think a variety of people
could
be viewed as selfish last year. I agree with.
So now it feels like the locker room is in a better place, surprisingly, than it was, say, 2 months ago. And that's important. I think chemistry and cohesion is very important. Sean Livingston talked about it on the All the Smoke podcast. When you got dysfunction in the locker room, how the hell are you going to go out there and win a championship? How? You're not. And that's what happened to the Golden State Warriors. They got smoked in 6 by the Lakers.
Chemistry absolutely is a factor.
I didn't see it.
Very few teams we can point to in modern sports that all hated each other or didn't get along that ended up winning a championship. Right. Does it happen? I'm sure we could point to like the Lakers, for example, toward the end. They weren't best of friends. I'm sure people would even point to the 2018 Warriors and say maybe they weren't the best of friends. Who knows? But it does feel like the common thread amongst every sport is you got to get along on some level with everybody on that team. This whole thing about he's going to improve his offensive game, they'll be like, come on, I got to see it before I believe that.
Listen,
part with Draymond.
Listen. When it comes down to it, he's going to be the guy left wide open. He's going to be the guy left wide open on the 3-point line. He's got to be aggressive. At least be aggressive.
Well, and I think the big thing is when you look at CP3 and Draymond, there's going to be overlapping minutes. I don't think it's impossible to just say, CP3 and Draymond are never going to overlap. If they're both playing, hypothetically, 25 to 30 minutes, right, somewhere in that range, or even CP3's down to 20 minutes, they're going to overlap. What does that look like offensively?
Don't know.
How does Draymond respond to being left open? And can the two of them work with maybe Chris Paul off ball and Draymond on ball or vice versa? That's the thing that I have to see. I really want to see what that looks like. Not saying it's not going to work. I'm saying in those overlapping minutes, I'm very interested to see what the offense looks like.
No doubt. Here's what Draymond Green said about CP3 bringing a variety on offense for the Golden State Warriors.
After the Lakers series, Steph said in his press conference, which was, we ran out of variety. And what I mean by variety is in a team, you need to have a variety. Like if they're taking this away, then you can go to this. If they're taking that away, then you can move to this. Our team last year didn't have a variety of ways that we could score. And I think CP adds another thing to the menu to address the topic of a variety of things, of ways to score. Because CP plays totally different than Steph.
Right. Yeah.
Totally different than Klay.
Right.
Totally different than myself. And even Jordan Poole for that matter.
Right.
And so I think what he brings is, number one, the variety in which we can play, I think is huge.
So you can slow it down, play better in the half court.
Yeah, he's more deliberate.
No doubt.
But I also think he is talking about unlocking some of these other players on the team, right? If you want to unlock Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, I do believe you need a more traditional facilitator.
I do. I agree with that.
Right? And I think Kevon Looney can do slightly more offensively in terms of, taking the mid-range. Andrew Wiggins, I believe, can do more offensively. How come Andrew Wiggins can't be over 20 per game with this Warrior team?
He can. I mean,
we're talking about slight uptick. We're not asking a lot. He's right there. What was he with the Warriors? What's he about 17, 18?
17, 18 a game.
Yeah, 21. Is that really unreasonable? If you're looking at him playing overlapping minutes with someone like Chris Paul, couldn't Andrew Wiggins really benefit from someone like that, like getting easy buckets around the rim?
Well, his entire Warriors career, he's never averaged 20. He had in 12 games in 2019, 2020 when he got traded here, 19.4. The next season, 18.6 a night. So he's going to be anywhere from that 18 to 20 point range. You'll get Klay anywhere from 19 to 22. And efficiency matters. Andrew Wiggins was very efficient from the three-point line, and he has been efficient from the three-point line in his Warriors tenure. 2020, 2021, 38% from three. 39% from three the championship season. And last year, he was nearly at 40%. Now, you get Klay Thompson be more efficient from the floor because he was efficient from the three-point line.
Yes.
He's got to be more efficient inside the three-point line. And that means finishing at the basket. Klay Thompson had one of his worst seasons in his career when it came to finishing at the rim.
I didn't know
making layups and smoking layups. So he's got to get better in that sense. But from the three-point line, he was also efficient. So whether it's 18 to 20 to 21, I think we could live with that consistency from Andrew Wiggins.
Wouldn't you agree that when they're at their best, they're scoring at all three levels? And it felt like they got away from the mid-range game.
They did.
In the second half of last season and into the playoffs. And I think that they would either, and I'm using Jordan Poole as an example, bomb threes or take a reckless layup attempt with two or three guys draped all over them, waiting for it.
Saw a lot of that with Jordan Poole.
Well, he wasn't the only one, but he's a great example. He's a great example.
It felt like whenever he went in for a layup, especially in the playoffs, it was like, yeah, that's not going in.
Well, and that's why I thought it was refreshing that Kuminga, a couple of dribbles, and then he hit the fadeaway. He had the little, the leaner. He had a couple different moves. Boy, they just need another guy who can hit some mid-range shots.
Chris Paul?
Well, that's where I'm going. It's like
Chris Paul.
Well, he eats in that mid-range. And I also think that he also loves a high pick and roll.
No doubt.
Which can open up the floor and allow him to attack bigs and get these mismatches for these younger players that they need.
Here's what Draymond said about Chris Paul leading that second unit.
Last year, Steph and I got split up a lot. And me and Steph together are dangerous. Our minutes got split up a bunch because our second unit couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure the second unit out. So in turn, I got put into the second unit to help stabilize that unit.
Y'all.
And that's like 15 less minutes a game that we're together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think due to our roster, it took some of that away. Well, now CP can anchor that unit.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Whether he starts or come off I don't know. I haven't had the chance to talk to Steve. I don't know. But I know he will see some time with that unit.
Mm-hmm.
And he can anchor that unit.
Right.
And I think that is a big thing into unlocking our team again.
It's like Kirk Cousins saying, me and Justin Jefferson we're dangerous together. It's
man.
Justin Jefferson's dangerous no matter who's out there. And I'm not trying to, he's right?
That two-man game is dangerous.
He's right.
Whether you like it or not.
Steph's dangerous with everyone, though.
No doubt. But is he at his most dangerous when it's with
funny?
Draymond Green?
Come on, isn't that funny?
It's pretty funny.
It's like, could you imagine Eli White said, hey, Buster couldn't catch Tim Lincecum. Lincecum was dangerous with me behind the plate.
It was a dangerous
Doug
tandem
Mirabelli,
right there.
Pedro was so much more dangerous with me than Jason Varitek behind the plate.
Oh, man.
It's just funny. Come on. You can laugh a little.
It is funny.
He's not wrong.
But he's not wrong at all. I know people are going to laugh at it.
It always has to come back to how great he is. The guy, he has learned so much from LeBron over these years.
Well, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What happened to the blue-collar guy out of Michigan State? Nah, Draymond Green's living his best life, man.
It's just funny.
He's not telling any lies,
We're just
though.
laughing.
He's not telling any lies, though, when you look at the numbers.